Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq, with daily insight on the Nasdaq-100 Index, or the NDX, which is made up of 100 of the largest domestic and international non-financial innovative companies listed on Nasdaq. The NDX has been the barometer for U.S. large cap growth, and also one of the best performing indexes over the last decade and a half, not to mention one of the most liquid index ecosystems in the world. Joining us this Monday afternoon, we have Chris Dearborn, Managing Director on Nasdaq's Market Intelligence Desk, for an update to watch on technical levels in the Nasdaq 100. As Chris, the index outperforming, almost up about 1% relative to the S&P and to the Dow. And of course, there's a cluster of stocks there that are certainly lending to the performance.
It's amazing, right? That with all the negative headlines and all the headwinds here in the macro environment, we've strung together 2 successful weeks of positive gains here in the index. That's only the second time this year that that's happened, which is kind of amazing here. And today we're building upon that. So it's nice to see, even though it's a little bit of a quieter Monday compared to some of the other days we had the last week and a half on the volume side, it's a nice looking chart.
I also think a lot of traders could potentially be out with their families on spring break. It's that time of year. And you know what happens around the holiday season, we tend to get a little bit more illiquid trade, a little bit lighter on the desks. But Chris, with that said, let's take a look at your first chart here and take a look at some technical levels to watch. Right.
So if you look at the chart on the right-hand side, about 2.5 weeks ago, we had a very nice bullish engulfing pattern develop on the 15-16. That's that V bottom that you're looking at on the chart. And from there was followed by a nice hammer. So you got 3 very nice updates following that, which is a very bullish move, breaking through resistance at the 14,300 level, which corresponds to the 50-day moving day average. Now, we're concerned about that holding last week with the chop that we've seen recently. And again, with the headline sensitivity to the market, really uncertain what's going to happen day to day. That being said, the chart has held and has broken higher. Interesting to see support holding and now moving higher. And we're looking at really a target here of our 200-day moving average, which is 15,126. That would be a nice range to hit. We should hit that mark, all things being equal, and then pull back a little bit to consolidate. Look for the trading range here to settle between 14,315 and the 200-day, which is 15,125. What's interesting, if you look at the bottom of the chart on the relative strength index, is that we are approaching a 60 handle. Remember, a 70 is an overbought. So we'd like to see it kind of pop up to that higher 60s and then consolidate a little bit. Again, a lot of macro factors here, that could take place. I mean, the news out of Shanghai today, President Biden's potential for tax increases in 2013, obviously inflation and the Fed looking for that soft landing. And then, front and foremost is the geopolitical situation in Ukraine.
Yeah, Chris, it's so interesting, just, at least over the past 3 to 4 months to watch these indicators, such as the overbought and oversold indicator, just how extreme they have switched in the velocity and the frequency they have switched around. But let's take a look at your last chart here to see where the performance is coming from, because it seems to be, a cluster of stocks moving it around.
There are, you've got 70 companies that are positive today compared to 30 that are negative. It's a nice change that we've seen over the last couple of weeks. Some days we've seen maybe 8 or 9 companies finish positive. So it's nice to see it. It's across all broad sectors. Obviously, Tesla with the news today, asking shareholders to vote in the upcoming meeting regarding releasing more shares for the split. That's adding over 55 points to the index. That stock's up over 8%, trading near 1,100. And then you've got Okta, Atlassian, MELI, all having great, strong days. And it's really kind of broad-based. You expect to see some of the other companies up there they carry a little bit more weight, the Amazons, the Googles, and they are, but they're only up 2%. It's nice to see you got almost 10 companies today in the Nasdaq 100 that are up 3.5% or more in one day. We haven't seen that in a while. It's nice to see. The momentum here is strong. Look for the index to push that 200-day moving average.
All right, Chris, appreciate the insight as always. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.